everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on Masters of the Universe Masterverse. Now, as you know, Masterverse is meant to explore the other realities and different versions of He-Man, like ones from the 2002 cartoon, one from the New Adventures, one from basically the 2021 Netflix reboot, and so much on. And the cover has Zodiac getting ready for action with other versions of He-Man and all that. And the story starts off how after He-Man defeats Skeletor, we see him saying, No, I must have Grayskull. We'll live to fight another day, Master. And pretty much after defeating Skeletor's warriors, we see how He-Man transforms back to Prince Adam, saying, Which means I have to let the power return and go back to being lame, old, disappointing Prince Adam again. And we kind of see how Zodiac and the Sorceress have a debate if He-Man is worthy of wielding the power, and if Prince Adam was the right candidate. So we see how the Sorceress introduces the Masterverse, showing other realities and other sort of outcomes. In one reality, where eternal darkness fell, we see how Prince Adam journeys out, and this is meant to be a more darker, more disturbed version of Eternia, where we kind of see how after Prince Adam, Teela, and Orko journey out to kind of look for the lost children, we see how Skeletor, Trapjaw, Evelyn, and Tricops try to take them on. We see how Prince Adam tries to escape, knowing that he'll basically be drawn away from them. And we kind of see how after journeying into an abandoned house, we're introduced to Webstore, who's meant to be like a spider-like minion of Skeletor. Here we see how he tries to wrap him in his web, but of course we see how Prince Adam uses a kind of signal-like flare to burn him to a crisp. And we see how he journeys into the catacombs, where he ends up meeting Batcross, who was in the 1980s He-Man cartoon. And of course, we kind of see how Prince Adam knows he can't use his sword for a certain dark reason. So he uses his blood to try and draw out Batcross, who ends up crashing down and getting defeated. And we kind of see how Orko tries to use a song to try and locate Prince Adam, which unintentionally draws the attention of Scareglow. And of course, we know that Prince Adam has to use the sword now, and says, By the horror of Grayskull, I am the horror! And of course, in this reality, Prince Adam is basically a more darker version of He-Man, and more like a corrupted version of basically a mix of Grayskull and He-Man. So of course, try to use both swords, and of course, in doing so, takes the life of Scareglow, and says, Let the horror return! And we kind of see how Orko says, Oh no, Adam, I was just trying to help, I didn't mean... Yes, you tried to save me, so I had to save you. I had to. I used the power, and of course, after kind of using it, increased more power to Grayskull, which is a more corrupt version of the castle. We see how in one reality, which is like a comedy strip, with this version of Skeletor saying, It is mine! I have retrieved the second half of the Sword of Power! And we kind of see how, after basically Man-at-Arms and that get defeated, they kind of try to find another champion. So we're introduced to this version of He-Man, who's a bit like a dumb, muscular, irresponsible barbarian, and of course, leaves off saying, Stupid rule, I bet no one had to lodge garbage around back in the old days before Wizard and Science decided to blow each other up. And of course, we're introduced to this version of Cringer, who stays like a normal cat, saying, How should I like to, And of course, we see how by dumb luck, they end up defeating a kind of shaggy beast, and introduced to the version of the Sorceress, who gives this version of He-Man all their sort of equipment in that, and of course becomes He-Man, and says, "As needed, huh? Then come, Battle Cat. Let's keep this skeletal guy waiting." And of course, we see how Skeletor and Teela are duking it out, and we kind of see how Skeletor says, "Don't move or you'll miss your allies' defeat, Warriors Goddess." And of course, just then, we kind of see how Prince Adam tries to use every device given to him by the sorceress, and of course, the more times it's used, the more and more it gets destroyed. And of course, eventually the sorceress has a game console and some chips. And we see how Skeletor's fascinated because in his dimension, he had the same game console. So they decide to kind of play some old video games and basically become best friends, ending the war. So after this, we kind of see how both Zodiac as well as the Sorceress have different opinions about, like, if Prince Adam was the right champion. But we also see other realities, like the Netflix series, one with a kind of more barbarianish He-Man, one with basically the female version of Ran-Man, and so on. So this is the story. So I kind of think, yeah, Masters of the Masterverse is an interesting idea, showing what could have happened if Prince Adam was another version, or if someone else had the power. And I think this would be an interesting idea if it's explored a bit more in a future He-Man project. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.